is a D6 generation pip. Yeah, one of those dots on the side of a six-sided die. Yeah, a pip. You know, a short pip. Little something. Yeah, about anything gaming related. Sometimes featuring Craig, sometimes featuring Russ. We'll see what's coming up today.
Hey, welcome to another Pip. Craig, it's November Pip 2.
It's November Pip 2. We're doing these Pips like in rapid fire late month.
Sometimes it seems like you get a double drop late in the month. Sometimes they sneak out early, but they're usually
You know why? Because it's a Pip, Russ.
It is. You never know what's going to happen.
That's right. Pips can go in any direction.
You got to keep things fresh.
It's all how the way the dice roll.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we thought today might be fun. Craig's got a brand new box.
I do.
You haven't even really opened the shipping package.
Not really, no.
But what did you order, Craig? What is in this box?
So in this box, theoretically, is, and if you've been following me on Twitter, you know a little bit more about this. This is
Grumpy Craig was grumpy.
Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Craig had a crisis, as it were.
I did have a crisis, and I'm still not super. It's a week and a half after the release.
Yeah, it was.
And I now have it. But anyway, I have it, so that's good.
Yes.
So we're gonna do and Russ, I was 15 minutes late to
Which
gaming.
was 15 minutes that I was able to spend $90.
That's right. So we both have boxes to
I have
open.
a brand new thing too that I've barely cracked.
And
so
what is that, Russ?
I have Aeronautica Imperialis.
Yeah, now see we like to call that Adeptus Titanicus Mark II as far as the wallet is concerned.
Planes in the 40K universe.
That's right.
So love to talk about. So we're going to do live unboxing here for both of these things. So let's start with yours, Craig, because your box is pretty big. So I'm thinking you got a few bonus items in here besides the game.
I did. So I ordered everything that was supposed to come out at launch.
Okay.
And then that was the problem, is that Atomic Mass Games, who make Marvel Crisis Protocol, they dropped the ball on one of their items, which then meant that if you had gone through a regular online retailer and done a pre-order, most of those places have a policy where they only ship everything once everything is together. Now, there are some cool places online which are, to me, a little bit more like gamer-oriented because, if it's a big release and something happens, what they did was they contacted all the people as soon as they found out that Covenant Games, I think it's Team Covenant on. But anyway, they were great. They do some really cool videos and stuff like that. And they reached out to all their customers and said, look, this one item isn't coming. What do you want us to do?
Right.
I'm not going to say where I was getting mine because I really don't feel like they really stepped up. So I got my stuff. I eventually had to reach out to them and ask them if they could rearrange some stuff, and they did for me. But I'm still not super happy that I got it a week and a half late. Grumpy Craig is still grumpy. But so that's what I have here is everything but the New York City terrain pack, which is what did not end up dropping on the same day.
All right.
So here we go. So
let's see what you got here. Marvel Crisis Protocol.
They shipped it to Goffstown. How does that work?
Got in the wrong city.
Yeah, but it got to me eventually.
Would you do business with this again? We're not going to name them.
I mean, I might, but I'm not going to do pre-orders anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a decent store, but see, here's the deal. They were not adaptable to the situation, right?
That's the problem.
And that's the problem. And so if they have product on hand and it's what I want and it's a good deal or the shipping deal is good or whatever, I've gone through them a lot and it's been fine. This is just one example where I think they had process and their process failed. But anyway,
here we go.
Here we go. I'm going to open it up.
All right.
It's got some aqua.
They did a good job making sure it arrived safe. That's for sure.
Okay. Oh, it doesn't even. Okay.
I see the Hulk. I see the Hulk.
First thing we got here. Yeah. Right. Always need extra dice.
I see you got extra dice.
So there's extra dice right there.
Let's describe the dice in Marvel Protocol. These look like D8s.
They are D8s.
With fancy custom symbols on them like Fantasy Flight Games likes to do.
Well, it is Asmodee now. It's all one big happy family.
Good point. So yeah, but these look cool. So little Marvel-like explosions, swirls, skulls. Look a lot like Rune Wars / Star Wars
They
dice.
do very much. Much.
Yeah, okay, so we got the dice.
So then here we have the movement and range tool pack.
So again, even though this is not a Fantasy Flight game, technically it's Atomic Mass. It looks a lot like a Fantasy Flight game, meaning you got the the fancy measuring sticks here required for the proprietary measuring system.
Indeed.
Because tape measures.
God help us if we ever had to use a tape measure again.
I assume the box comes with one of these.
The box comes with a lot of dice and that, but you need extras. You need extras.
Okay, I see that.
Generally, this is that kind of game where it's a skirmish kind of game, like maybe Star Wars Legion, where I would buy 2 starter sets, right?
Yeah.
And that would give you all these extra troops, but there are no troops in Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Everybody's a hero.
Everybody's a hero. So instead, I got the dice pack and the extra templates and stuff. So, finishing up this layer are the 2 expansions for the launch that will.
When you say expansion, you mean single heroes that
single or dual heroes. In this particular launch, it was 2 single heroes, 2 big guys. First, we have the Hulk.
Ooh, is he incredible?
There he is. He is.
Actually, he's not incredible. He's just Hulk.
He's just the Hulk. He's just
Why is
Hulk.
He not
he's not even the Hulk.
Yeah, isn't that wrong? Isn't he the Hulk always?
I don't know. At the very least,
send emails to Craig Gallant.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh yeah, send them to me because
Hulk was cool.
So
what's his backstory like in the back of the box?
Okay, when famed scientist Bruce Banner saved his friend Rick Jones' life during a gamma bomb test explosion, he was bombarded with intense gamma radiation.
He was belted by gamma rays.
He was bombarded.
No belted.
No belted.
Do you not remember the song? Okay.
No. The results of this extreme exposure caused the soft-spoken Banner to transform into a raging green-skinned monster known as the Hulk. While the Hulk has been hated and feared for most of his existence, this fact has not stopped him from using his incredible strength for good, both as part of the Mighty Avengers and on his own.
Now wait, that's an awful thin box. How are they going to get a Hulk in a box that thin?
Oh, it's plastic.
Oh, it's spruce.
Look at that.
So we're looking at, it looks like a large base, which makes sense. The base does have...
It's molded with all kinds of terrain,
looks like damaged street terrain, and a manhole cover. And then you've got the Hulk in 2 small sprues. Nice detail. Ooh, the Hulk's got some abs, Craig.
He does. Well, you'd expect nothing less.
Yep,
really.
It looks like it's going to go together pretty nicely. I mean, you definitely want a little bit of glue here.
Yep.
Is this plastic?
That is plastic.
So you should use polystyrene.
You can use polystyrene.
I like his hands are in a cool pose, but this looks like it'll go together easy. Everything's nice and slotted and blocked in place. You can't misstep putting them together.
No, it looks great.
And now what else? What do you got there?
Then it's got a bag that's got a lot of extra components, including you need a card to play the character with
some nice artwork on it there.
Like large, oversized, tarot-sized card.
Very comic-y style Hulk drawn there, along with all comic-y sort of stats that I have no idea. He's got a Gamma Leap. Ooh, that's pretty good.
He does.
The card is double-sided, but it looks like the stats
interesting.
are the same.
Interesting note on the Hulk.
Yeah.
Every other character in the game has a healthy side and a wounded side.
Does Hulk not get wounded?
Hulk does not get wounded because he's got 20 wounds. Everybody else has around 6 or 7 maybe.
Oh, Hulk.
And then you flip it and you have 6 or 7 again.
Yeah.
He's got 20. And so his stats don't change at all when he gets wounded, except that for every 3 wounds he's taken, he throws an additional die in his attacks.
See, I was going to say he should get matter.
He does get matter.
Great. Yep. Well, I like that. That's cool. And you got a bunch of tokens here,
then you got a bunch of tokens. Yep. And then in addition to that, you got a bunch of cards. These are tactics cards that are abilities that you can use.
So very Fantasy Flight. So I've got more expansions here. Well, I love the art of these cards. Wow,
yeah, the art's beautiful.
Cool. There's some stylized sort of faded thing going on here, but I really like it.
Well, it's on the other side.
Oh, it's the back brought forward.
It's an interesting thing. So these are tactics cards. So these are cards. They don't have a common back.
Right.
The back is the full color artwork of the card.
And the art is amazing.
And the front is a washed out version of the same artwork.
Yeah,
so you're not ever going to not know what that card is.
Cool.
You're not going to hide.
Oh, and the artist is attributed too on the card. That's really nice.
Which is very nice. And then
very cool.
The way the game works is each player is going to bring several different missions cards, and you're going to choose them. So it comes with a mission card.
So just like Fantasy Fight, you're getting new missions just for buying the Hulk also.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Now you have a new one.
Yep.
And it is a Gamma Wave mission, which makes sense given that it's Dr. Banner.
It's Dr.
Very cool.
Banner.
Well, Hulk seems awesome.
And then you get this little it's the instruction assembly guide, which is multicolored.
How to put Bruce together.
Excellent.
All right, great.
Now this one, I don't know. I'm on the fence with this guy, but I needed a bad guy that was the big guy, so I got the bad guy.
Oh,
Are you familiar with?
Of course I am.
Okay.
Oh, he's awesome. Can I open MODOK?
Yeah, absolutely. You open MODOK.
All right. So MODOK, for those who don't know, MODOK is basically a giant head in a chair.
Yep.
He's got wee little arms and wee little legs.
Yep.
Think of like Stephen Hawking, the villain. Yeah. And that's MODOK pretty much. His chair hovers. It's got like a little jet. And what's cool about this, the artwork on the front, which looks like a painted version of the model, he's definitely in some sort of like His chair looks like it's got a little thruster pushing up.
Yep, like a hover chair.
On his sprue, you can see the cloud of jet exhaust as he hovers.
Yeah.
Again, you got the cool templates here. And because he's a member of Hydra, he's got Hydra tokens, whereas the Hulk had Avenger tokens with him. Yep. So that seems cool. And then we've got the MODOK card. And let's see if it's double-sided. Yes. Well, actually, it's funny. So the Hulk's card was identical on both sides, but on one side of MODOK's card, he looks like
he's super
angry
healthy
but focused.
And,
On the other side, he's like yelling and like in pain.
And he's all beat up.
His chair is damaged. I love it. So there's the damaged MODOK and the happy MODOK. Well, I don't know if MODOK's ever truly happy. But this has also got some cool cards here, including, there's the Red Skull. Oh, these are neat. Well, the art. Wow, Craig, I have to say the art is worth the price of admission on this stuff. If you're a comic fan at all, good stuff here.
That's some cool stuff.
Well, thank you for letting me open MODOK up. He's pretty cool. And here's MODOK's assembly guide as well. So good stuff on the. Right? Wow, the expansions are super cool.
Oh, he's got 10 health on one side. Oh, he's only got 4 on the other.
Now, did you save any money by ordering it all together, or is it pretty much just?
No, well, I saved on
day
shipping.
One sort of thing.
I saved on free ship. I bought enough that it was free. Okay. So all right, here we go. We have the main game, the core set.
Awesome. Okay, let's see what we got.
Okay, so Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures game.
Now we've all seen the box by now because it's been out a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it was announced at Gen Con,
right.
And they had the
box art is awesome. You got sort of Cap versus the Red Skull is on the main, but you can tell it's the Avengers pretty much versus all their classic foes. You got Doc Ock. Actually, they line up 1-for-1 versus their foes. So you got Cap versus Red Skull, Spidey versus Doc Ock. As you go off into the distance, you're seeing Captain Marvel. You're seeing Ultron. You got all kinds of folks. So pretty much the whole posse's there.
All right.
Great.
So right off the bat, you open it, and here's Marvel Crisis Protocol Learn to Play. So another page out of the FFG rulebook, right, is
the Learn to Play book.
It's a Learn to Play book, half of which is fluff and assembly instructions.
Nice.
And then the other half is all the basic rules.
Full color.
Now, interesting thing, this is not the rulebook. The rulebook is online.
Oh, is it like a reference rulebook like the Star Wars one?
Yep, which is weird, and they've changed it once this week, which I guess is cool because they're keeping up with it. But at the same time,
is it mobile friendly so you can have it right on your phone? That'd be great.
I do not know that.
So one thing I like about the book already is all the I'm using air quotes here. You can't see all the art is actually photos of really nicely painted miniatures. Even the movement where they're showing how to use the range rulers, they're showing it on an actual tabletop with pictures of like Black Widow and a full 3D little Daily Bugle stand. And using the painted even movement. So everything is actually pictures of miniatures, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
The layout's nice and simple. This book looks fun. No index, which is a shame.
No.
But
that's because it's a Learn to Play.
There is a table of contents, so I'll give them that.
That's good.
Looks pretty solid there. And there's a nice quick reference in the back cover, which I also like. They didn't waste the back cover. I hate when they do this for like advertisements or anything. It's actually useful. Yeah. Put it on the table and your quick reference guide's right there.
So here are it comes with 10 characters.
Ooh,
there are the character cards, 5 and 5.
So there's Baron Zemo, Black Widow, Cap. And again, they're all reversible like the Hulk. It's great when they're wounded. They're all like a little angry.
Yep.
Black Widow's got some cuts on her face there on her wounded side. Cap has got his suits all beat up. Of course, the shield's still working great. You got Captain Marvel, who looks like she's right out of the latest film. You got Crossbones, Doc Ock, Iron Man. I want to see what damage Iron Man looks like. Let me see. Does he get... Oh, yeah. Oh, he's a mess.
I think his armor's sparking.
His armor's sparking and all scraped up. The Red Skull looks grumpy. Spidey's got rips in his suit. Ultron, damaged Ultron's great. I love the damage sides. That's really clever. I like how they did that.
It's neat. And then you've got a couple sheets of tokens and a scorecard.
Nice and thick tokens. I like the comic booky art for the token symbols. These are nice tokens. The art's great. I like how they did the layout. These are great.
Yeah.
Cool.
And now, so here's the plastic.
So it comes with terrain.
It comes with terrain.
What kind of terrain do you get in there?
This is a newsstand, a fairly large newsstand.
Oh, nice.
This is the Daily Bugle.
That's the one I saw in the book.
It is. And two...
What is this? Traffic light.
Two traffic lights and 2 lamp posts.
Oh, and nice. The Daily Bugle sign is actually fully 3D, even the letters.
It is.
So this would be an easy dry brush to have it look nice.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about trying to paint Bugle. I love when they do that. It makes it so much easier to crack this out.
Here, I believe, are 2 cars and 2 dumpsters.
Wow, this is a good value. I'm liking the terrain you get. wow, the cards are cool. Dumpsters are nice. It'll be interesting to see them put them together. All on sprues, but again, you can tell that this is going to go together pretty simply. Like, it's not going to be fiddly to put it together at all. I see a trash can here. I want you to model Oscar the Grouch.
Indeed. Well, I may or may not do that.
Okay.
10 more dice.
More dice, and now you've got plenty of dice.
So here are the sprues of the characters.
Oh, there's Cap. I like his shield. His shield looks awesome.
Here's the dumpsters. I wonder what's
all right. So the detail on Cap is pretty off the chart. I'm looking at him now. He's the Hulk had a lot of detail on him, but of course he's big. Small Cap still looks great. Check him out. He looks awesome. Look at his little
Reese
shield.
Just walked in and
I'm trying to show this to Craig's son. Hey, he said hi. Hey, Reese. So Reese, what do you think of Captain America's shield? What do you think of that?
Cool.
Reese says cool. Awesome. He does look great. So Cap looks awesome.
Yeah.
Who else is in here? Looks like the Red Skull's in here. Did you know the Red Skull was bald, Craig?
I did.
Because by the miniature, he looks like he's bald.
Yes, I believe he's bald.
All right, excellent.
And there's a bunch more.
Oh, these are really cool. All right. You got these painted by next week?
We'll see. Gonna try.
Bye, Reese. These look great, Craig. The model quality is really nice.
Hard plastic.
Like lots of nice folds in the pants.
Contrast.
Thank
paint.
you.
Yes,
contrast paints are going to look great.
It's going to be all about the contrast paint.
There. These are going to look awesome.
And then check this out. So then you get a deck of cards. So these are deployment cards.
Our favorite methodology, right? I think for episode 1 we talked about these cards.
Yep.
So you've got 3 double-sided deployment cards. Looks like a lot of variants on quadrant deployment.
Here are faction cards in case you want to try to build a specific faction.
So now you know. So can you mix and match forces? Like
you can.
Can you play alt reality where the Red Skull's working with Cap or something?
100%. In fact, what you're going to do theoretically once there's enough models for everybody to be able to do this is when you go to a game, you're going to have a team of 10 models, any 10. Then in the process of choosing the missions, you don't draft. In the process of choosing the missions, the mission has 2 parts. It's a take and hold and a secure grab and take, basically. So you've got one objective where you have to go someplace and hold that position, and one objective where you can grab these things and run away with them. And each one is going to have a maximum point value at the top.
So you bring your guys.
And the player who has priority gets to choose which of those 2 numbers to use. And then each of you have to build a team, have to build a force, a squad, a force out of those 10 models.
Now you're restricted. Can I have a Red Skull and you have a Red Skull?
You can, yes.
Okay, so you can fight each other. Yeah. And then it looks like these cards though tell you who the Avengers are and who the Cabal is, and who the leader is. There's little icons next to.
Yes. So some of the characters have a leadership ability, and they can use that leadership ability if half or more of their models are from that.
So there's advantages to trying to make a faction-specific force.
Exactly.
I like that. That's really cool.
Yep. And then there's a bunch. There's a bunch of missions.
Yeah. Cool.
All right there, and then here's more of those tactics cards that are
nice.
Washed out on one side. Nice. So you get a lot.
You get a lot of bases. Wow, this looks awesome.
And then the bases. So
I'm looking forward to trying this out.
There's all the more the templates and everything.
The range measuring thing.
Yep. And another car. Oh no, there's the 2 cars.
There's the car tops.
So what's that?
We saw the wheels. We saw the wheels on the chassis.
You know what?
Now you got the body.
I think this is more of the.
They kind of look like a Prius Meta Volvo.
Yeah, they're little. They're not super
really
big.
Sure what's going on there? But okay.
But So I'm very happy. I wish I'd gotten it a week and a half ago. But and then it would have been painted. But I'm very excited.
It looks awesome, Craig. So I think the quality's there. I think now. What do you mind me asking? What's the price for the box?
I believe the box is 100 or 90. Let me see if it says. It might say on it.
Well, you get quite a few models, and you get a lot of building. I mean, the terrain is worth it.
Yeah,
I think you get a lot of terrain.
You get 2 cars, 2 dumpsters, the building. You get a lot.
This is where I think these guys are really adding the value because the terrain you're getting in a lot of these games now is really great, and I think the classic miniature game companies don't quite pull it off as well. So, do you want to go into Aeronautica?
Yes, so I'm excited about this, but I was also excited about what Russ picked up. This is actually
a fun contrast because here we have a game from a board game company.
Yep.
That's clearly awesome miniatures. I mean, it's
the team behind this is actually mainly Privateer Press.
Okay, right. That's fair.
That went on, and now they're working
blending it,
with
taking
Asmodee
the experience of Fantasy Flight and Asmodee, bringing it with miniature game veterans. What I like about this is the value. So even if you subtract out the 2 expansions you had,
right?
You're looking at, I don't know, how many heroes come in the core set?
10.
10 heroes.
Yep.
So 10 detailed models plus a lot of cool terrain. Look like, what, 2 buildings and 2 cars?
No, it's 1 building, 2 cars, 2 dumpsters, and a couple lampposts.
Now, do you have a mat or anything, or is the
you
table...
don't have a mat or anything. It's to be played on a 3x3.
So that's interesting, and that was 110, you said?
No. I think it was like between 90 and 100.
Okay. So let's compare that to Aeronautica Imperialis.
All right. Now let's open that.
This is from our friends at Games Workshop who have been killing it lately.
Yes, they have.
Now, I bought this with a little bit of trepidation. I'm a big fan of course, the 40K universe. And Craig and I have talked about the fact that I almost got sucked back into 40K, but gameplay's a little long, but I still love my orcs. And I did get into Speed Freaks. Love the models, but the rules in Speed Freaks, while good, aren't great. So there's not a lot of replayability there because the game is so simple. Good for kids, but it was a great value for getting all those orc vehicles. Now here, I really wanted to try Aeronautica Imperialis. It's been out for about a month, I think. But a couple folks I've seen online of it said they've kind of enjoyed it. And so it was there in my gaming store. Now, this game, GW does an interesting thing where, kind of like Fantasy Flight, right? If you want enough dice, you got to buy more dice. If you want the tape measures, you got to buy those. If you want to buy all the missions, you got to buy the expansions. I still think, though, as grumpy as some Fantasy Flight fans are about that, I still think that's nicer than kind of what GW's done here. So the good news is you do get everything you need to play in the box.
Yeah.
Right? Except for the glue required to assemble the models, so that's fair. And you do get a play surface,
so that's
a mat.
nice. Is it
also
paper?
Good? It's well, we're going to look at that in a second.
Okay.
But because what they call it is it's double-sided. It's a double-sided area of engagement. Now you'll need the area of engagement because this air combat game uses hexes for movement, which I kind of like because I think it'll keep it less fiddly than all the ones with the various movement measurements
tools and whatnot. Yeah.
So let's jump in here. So the first thing you're going to notice. The game box is almost the exact same size as Crisis Protocol, but half the height.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, the other thing, there's no terrain in this. So we are getting, what's the model count
What's
on
the
this
cost on this one?
90.
90. Okay.
So, again, same price point almost exactly.
About the same
No
price
terrain.
point.
You do get a little play surface. We'll talk about the paper or mat in a second.
Yep.
But you're also getting 2, 4, 6, 9 GW aircraft. So, and how many models are in there? 10?
10, yep.
So you're getting one less model. Now, we can debate whether or not these are bigger or more detailed.
Right.
There are definitely more options and parts because you can put on bombs and everything, There's also, they have detailed bases that have dials in them. So the bases are a little more beefy and have more mechanics to build.
Well, there's an interesting little thing with the Crisis Protocol because it's such a new company.
Right.
In order to balance out the sprues, they had space that they had to fill, and they filled it with duplicate pieces.
Interesting.
Instead of like a different version. So, for instance, Red Skull, there's 2 Red Skulls, right hands holding the Cosmic Cube.
Oh, that's a miss. They could have an empty hand or hand holding something else.
Yeah,
that would have been a fun move.
That's what
experience there.
Yeah, so they've got all those different options to flesh out.
So I'm not but you get there's no like terrain for the ground or anything.
Okay.
And I would say the tokens
does the game
here,
call for terrain on the ground?
No.
Okay.
You don't need it, but you can have it. There's rules for it.
So there's rules.
So we'll go into there because I've looked at it a little bit. All right. So I'm popping this open. It's a little bubble wrap for
little
packing.
Bubble wrap, even. Yep.
And the first thing I'm noticing here is a bunch of sprues for the planes. I'm going to give them to Craig to describe a little bit here. But you can see them, and you can see the bit count per square inch on these sprues is off the charts. This GW.
It's some take a look, Craig. Serious detail. So I'm looking at a sprue with the hull of the airplane and the wings and everything and the engines. I think this has got to be 1 orc sprue and 1 imperial sprue. But then I'm looking at a sprue that's nothing but weapon options for the imperial planes. And they're heavy, and you can ID what kind of. That's one of the amazing things about GW and playing in the 40K universe is that it all translates. So I'm looking at heavy bolter sponsons. I'm looking at las cannon sponsons. I'm able to totally identify them, even though they're tiny. They're like. This heavy bolter is probably maybe a 1/4 of an inch long, for instance. All kinds of missile options and things like that. So you've got a lot of variations built into these sprues, which is very cool.
Yeah, and there's even nose variants and tail variants on the orc ones.
Yeah,
for example.
Looks like you're looking at 2 different kinds of imperial planes and 2 different kinds of orc planes, which is cool. And of course, each one of those types of planes then has variants that you can use.
I'm pulling out now a double-sided picture card. One side's got art, and the other side has photos of painted versions of all the models that come in the set, so you can see
2
them.
Marauder bombers, 2 Thunderbolt fighters, 3 DACA jets, and 3 fighter bombers.
Right. Now,
2 fighter bombers.
So also included there's flight stick,
the
clear flight pegs
flight
for each
stands.
one. And then Craig, here's one of the bases. They come pre-assembled with the dials working.
Wow.
So check that out. So no assembly required on that part.
My only problem with that is going to make it hard to paint.
Yeah, you're gonna have to,
because you've got pre-printed
I'm gonna have to
numbers on these,
and then that or just airbrush prime it and ink it.
But I mean, it's gorgeous.
But they're all identical, so the bases aren't different per plane or per faction. Nope.
Okay.
This is A for Aeronautica.
Basically, you know what you're tracking? Your speed and your elevation.
Your speed and your elevation's right there.
Yeah,
and then it looks like a little radar tracker on the bottom, almost like your plane's tracking location.
Yeah, that's probably like your firing arcs and whatnot built into it, I bet.
So there's that. Now, so that's that.
So that's 9 of those.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprues of stuff that's going to cover, as you mentioned, 5 Orc aircraft and 4 Imperial aircraft. And they're going to be, they're smallish, but they're, what do you think, 2 inches wide in the wingspan?
I mean, they look to be like they're going to be a bit bigger than X-Wing ships.
Yes, that's about right. I'd say they're about X-Wing scale, plus or minus a little bit.
Yeah.
Then what you got is you got 8 boring
your standard
white
GW
D6s.
Boring D6s,
So
because I bet
fancy
that
there.
you can get themed dice from GW.
Again, the detail on the models is off the charts.
Yeah.
And the number of bits and components to build one of these planes is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's a hobbyist dream.
Oh, yeah.
But you're paying for it. If you look at the raw volume of stuff for the same price,
you're
talking about custom dice versus standard dice. You're talking about having terrain. One more model. Arguably, the planes are more detailed, a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
but,
I would say they're definitely more detailed.
Then you get one of these here, Craig. What is this? It looks like an assembly instructions for the various planes.
You've got 4 different assembly instruction booklets.
With variants, you can see how the missile options.
Look at all those.
I mean, it's like crazy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different options for the Orc DACA jet bombs on the wings.
Go in. There's different engine options. And notice the way the plague, it specifically says no glue when you snap the plane into the ball joint.
A ball joint.
The flight sticks are ball joints, so the planes are going to be able to yaw and pitch.
That's cool.
And roll, which will be pretty neat.
That's going to look really neat.
So that's cool. That'll make it fun to fly them around. So again, you got to give them a little room for that. They definitely went all out. Here's another assembly card. So each plane type has a full card for assembly instructions because there's a lot of great options.
Yep, looking at the Thunderbolt fighters, got all kinds of options for its underwing armament.
Right. And now coming at you, Craig, is a quick reference card. And what you're looking at on one side is a bunch of different maneuvers.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of? What was that? The alternate reality Crimson Skies?
Yes.
Was that it? Yeah,
yes, the Crimson Skies
cool.
game. So in this one, you'll notice that there's
different
numbers, different maneuvers. You can then, and I was briefly doing some rules reading, you can basically, you assign number tokens next to each plane secretly, and that's going to dictate the kind of maneuver the plane's going to do.
Okay.
Right? So you can do any of these things basically when you do it. You're showing like wing over, you can pick your facing, so you're basically going to move that many hexes and flip, just like it does like Crimson Skies, actually. Right?
Yep. That's cool.
And the other side of that's a quick reference card as well. So you got 2 of these, one for each player.
Very nice.
So one side shows you the maneuvers and where you're going to end up in the hex and what your facing is going to be. And the other side is a quick reference guide to the rules themselves.
Yep.
Right? So you got 2 of these. They're pretty decent, thick card stock. With the nice information on there, too. So we got that. Then we got, Craig, why don't you go ahead and describe the rule book?
The rule
booklet, I should say.
The rule booklet, it's paperback. It is full color. Warhammer 40,000 universe. So I think
it's
that's
a universe now.
Imprimatur. 37 pages. Quick reference in the back rather than in an index, but it looks like it's got. You know what it reminds me of most, Russ, is Forge World books.
It looks like Forge World.
It's got the cool. The black and white photos. The artwork is very much the models. But taken as if they were real world photos,
or they were done in Photoshop really well.
Like war correspondent photos. There's a lot of cool fluff. There's how scenarios work, and then there's an introductory scenario. Looks like valor is victory. All kinds of cool Imperial propaganda.
Yes.
Designer notes. Or truth. The truth. Designer notes throughout. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. The numbers that represent altitude are, very nice. It looks very straightforward. I mean, it's not an overwhelming rule book at all. It's got some cool color photos in the very front of the models, but then everything else is much more thematic.
How's our index/table of contents situation?
Well, there is no index. There's a quick reference at the end, which is nice. Which looks pretty much like the quick reference card, for the most part. And in the front, we do have a basic table of contents. Right. The basic squadron lists, the turn, movement, firing, end phase, ending the game. Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, that's not going to be that hard to navigate through, I don't think. And it's a cool looking book. That's for sure.
So I like the booklet. Now, also, we have here a token sheet.
Yep.
I would say, well, you could describe it. What do you think of the token sheet?
They're definitely going for a style. It's multicolored, but it's sort of monochrome, so it looks kind of old-timey-ish. Looks like you've got, I don't know what these numbers... Oh, are these numbers? Are you saying these numbers are like your
Those numbers are the maneuver numbers. So if you look at the cool reference guide, you notice on the back, they're all of logos.
Yes, yeah.
So I can put them down secretly face down.
Right.
So the numbers 1 through 8 represent the 8 different maneuvers. So if I put a 2 face down next to my plane, it means I'm doing a swoop.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 sets, or the numbering is a little bit weird. But
you want to have more than one set. Now, maybe certain maneuvers are really hard to pull off. So
I don't think there's only 3 8s, for instance. Right. So I think that's probably only your fighters can do that.
Through playtest, there's a lot of 1s, which are basically level straight flight.
Yeah.
So they probably anticipate you do that more. Now, one of the places where GW gets you is these basic cardboard tokens are more than serviceable.
Yep.
However,
but Russ, could you bling this up a little bit?
For a small $40 fee, you get a box of plastic tokens, because also on that token sheet, which Craig didn't get to yet, there's a bunch of status tokens on the bottom.
Yep.
So you could be in a death spiral. You could be running damage. There's bullet holes. You can set double-sided for 2 and then 3.
It's very. I mean, I love the color they've gone with. I don't even know what you would call it. It's kind of like
a military OD
like
green,
an old
sort of, like World War II sort of thing. So there's plastic versions of all that. So clearly, what they expect you to do is buy that.
Deal with this, and then
there's also a hard-covered campaign book, which is actually
it has all the rules.
The rules are in there, plus a full campaign. One of the things you didn't get to in the rulebook, Craig, is there's really only one mission, dogfight in the base game.
Yeah.
But obviously the game's full of bombers, and in the campaign book, there's lots of missions. There's also cards you can buy.
So you're bombing missions.
The other thing is, in this book are the stats for all the planes included, but there are...
I didn't see any cards other than the ones in the book.
There are no cards. You have to look at the pages of the book for your stats, or you can go buy the cards
for a mere...
GW, $27 for a single faction deck. So if I want enough cards for the Imperials, now there's more cards in there than just the ones that come in the box,
right?
Because there's a full line of jets coming out.
Yep.
So, and you get a bunch of aces, which are like advanced rules, which is cool. But I'd have to drop $60 just to get the cards.
Yeah, the way we play games, one of us tries to go all in.
Yeah, it's an investment.
That's an investment.
So my approach is I'm going to get the core box and see if the rules are better than Speed Freaks. If the rules are great and I fall in love with it, I'm sure I will get sucked into the rest of it.
Yeah.
Now, we have a couple more things to look at here, Craig. One is, check out the decals sheet. What do you think of that?
This is worth its I mean, Games Workshop is so stingy with its decals lately.
I know.
That this sheet alone would cost you $20.
Now, the nice thing about decals is...
And it's gorgeous.
Pair
it's
those
tiny.
With contrast paints for models as detailed.
And then you're all
Now
set.
You're done. You contrast paint them. There's decals in there for Flames, the Imperial Eagles. I can make these planes look like they have detailing on them.
Checkers.
Exactly, the checkers on the Orc planes. And so it's one sheet that covers the Imperials and the Orcs pretty nicely.
Yep. Yeah, this would without a doubt cost you $20.
Right. So again,
judging by what
I'm not saying $20 is a good value. I'm just saying that's what GW charges you.
Yeah. No. Judging by what the Adeptus Titanicus decals.
Now, Craig, I haven't even opened this up yet.
All right. It's in a plastic bag.
It is. I think it's high-end paper. But you tell me. Unfold it.
It is. It feels like it's high-end, poster paper.
But it's still paper. So I'd want
paper.
So again, I'm going to go end up buying the neoprene version of this. That'll eventually come out.
But it's cool though.
But it is cool. It's double-sided. So on one side,
you know what it is? It is an Adeptus Titanicus table.
It is
viewed from above, which is cool.
Now flip it over. What's on the other side?
On the other side is some kind of refinery or military complex on a desert.
I like the art because the desert's all in full color. It's almost like photorealistic.
Yep.
But then the hex grid, which
it's like
a tactical digital overlay,
yeah.
And they've got some targeting zones
targeting
so you can imagine, like in certain missions, that could be a bomb site or a deploy zone.
That is cool.
So these could be objectives.
There's a couple of fires with smoke.
Yeah.
Fumes.
So it's I wish it wasn't paper. For $100, I feel like. GW, if they were maybe Fantasy Flight, this might be neoprene or something a little, maybe, or it could have been tiles you laid down.
Ooh, there's a Titan.
But the art is awesome. As Craig's pointing out, the art is fantastic.
There's a crashed Titan on the board.
So I don't know, Craig, what do you think $90 for what we just saw here? Is that a good price?
Well, now that's an interesting question, Russ, isn't it? Because I think what you have to do is say, in the world of Games Workshop.
Well, that's exactly right. In Games Workshop's world, you can buy all this stuff separately. They have all the models separate, the rules are separate.
It would cost you a lot more.
It would.
To the $90. So I think in the world of Games Workshop, $90 is a good price for what you're looking at, because just the models alone would cost you well over $90, I guarantee. Right. Which, if you like the game and the models are something you're willing to buy, you're getting an entire game basically for free.
Right.
And as you mentioned, that there's ways to bling out everything, all the components. So you can have the plastic tokens, you can have the plastic ground assets, you can get all the nice card stock cards.
Do that. So I'm going to end up spending as much as a miniature game. I think in the world of Games Workshop, it's a great value.
Yeah.
But in the larger new world we're in, with games like Crisis Protocol, Joan of Arc we've talked about in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a lot of content. So I think for the nostalgia for me of the universe of 40K.
You're so desperate to have some game in the 40K universe.
Well, I love it, and I love my work. So I think this is going to be great, and I'm looking forward to it. And honestly, given GW's pricing in the past, this is a pretty good deal.
I think it is, yeah.
But, you know...
you got to look at the competition.
You got to look at the competition, and I would be hard-pressed. Unless you're a 40K fanboy or fangirl, I don't know that I could recommend this. Now, as it compares to X-Wing, though, I feel like it's in the ballpark. Because the starter set for X-Wing is $50 for three. Now, they are pre-painted and pre-assembled.
Yeah.
But I don't know. $90 for 10, for what, I guess 8.
Yeah.
Or 9, I guess it is pretty good.
Well, I would say that it definitely puts it in the ballpark.
Yeah, so I think as it compares to X-Wing, and maybe there's something I don't know about the cost of flight stands and bases with dials, because X-Wing has those too, and all that. So, you get into a place where that's not a fair comparison to compare this to Heroes on Bases. I don't know. I will say, though, that Crisis Protocol seems like a great deal.
Yeah, no, I am super happy with Crisis Protocol, and I'm happy that you got that, because these are there's no overlap.
All of that said, I don't regret this at all. I think as a GW person, I find this price point great. I actually like that I can buy into the game with everything I need without buying all the bling. We can try it out a game or two.
Yep.
If I don't love it, I have some cool models I can put on my shelf.
Right.
Because I have a 40K collection of just things I like. If I love it, we can play it more. And I'm excited to try Crisis Protocol with you, Craig. That game looks fantastic.
It does. I think this is going to look cool. You call Cap. Well, we'll see how that works. No, and as we were saying with Adeptus Titanicus, when I went just about a year ago, I went all in on that. And they actually had an option of like an all-inclusive version, right? Which had all the blinged out plastic, everything. And that was like $270 or $280.
If I get the 2 decks of cards, it's $60 more. Now we're at $150.
Yeah.
If I get the bits, it's another $40. Yeah. Now we're at $200.
Yeah.
And then if I get the that was the tokens. Then there's the ground stuff. There's a whole box of like ground terrain and turrets and ground guns, which I guess come with the cards for that. That's another $40. So we're at $240.
Yeah. Yeah, which makes sense because then you're looking at like the grand version of this game, right?
So GW has definitely set it up where they can make $250 to $300 a player off of this stuff.
Right.
And that's not, I still haven't bought a single additional plane.
No, you haven't.
Which they have lines of all that coming out as well. I don't know if they're going to go beyond 2 factions, but they don't need to. There's a lot to buy and play just with this.
There's already, And I think, if you look at Adeptus Titanicus, that's been a year now. They only have those 2 factions.
The other evil thing about this game is Craig was mentioning all the different bomb loadouts.
Yeah.
There's rules for all those loadouts. And if you're playing rep, once you glue those on, unless you're going to spend a lot of time magnetizing some very tiny planes.
Yeah, that would be...
Once you play them rep, you're going to want all the variants. And as soon as you want all the hardcore players could spend a lot of money on this game. A lot of money on this game. Which, that's GW's core, right?
Well, I think the interesting thing is you've got a model here where you've got $90. You've got plenty for us to play the game. I bet there's probably plenty to play there for quite a while. I don't think we're going to be throwing all 9 planes on game one.
The only thing is I'm going to have to buy the mission cards or something, or the scenario book.
To open it up.
Because I feel like only one dogfight mission would get boring.
Yes.
What I like about what I saw in Crisis Protocol and Joan of Arc is you get a lot of missions in the box.
Right.
And if there's one part I'd say I was disappointed in this is, I would have liked to seen the cards.
Yeah.
Just for the planes I had.
Even just for the planes it comes with.
Put the aces in the box and I have to go buy the aces. That's fine.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see the cards, and I would have liked to seen at least 3 scenarios for something with bombing in it since I have bombers in the box.
Yeah. It does seem like an odd trend lately that starter boxes aren't coming with a lot of missions.
But Crisis Protocol has 3.
No, Crisis Protocol has way more than 3 because of
Joan of Arc had a bunch.
Yeah. You're right. Those two do.
Star Wars Legion has quite a few. Right?
They're all built.
I don't know what
I
think GW is just being stingy on this one. I think that's a miss.
That's
true. It's there. I know why they're doing it, but I would like to have seen that. A couple more, because I think what they want, you want to hook me.
Right.
So if I don't like the starting scenario, but there's 2 other ones I love, because Joan of Arc's that way. There's a couple scenarios we don't love.
Right.
There's a lot of scenarios we do love.
Yeah. And every time you hit one that you don't, you're like,
let's try the next one.
Bunch that we love.
So I think that's a miss. That's my only critique of this. Otherwise, as a GW game, I think it's a pretty solid value, and I'm no regrets. I'm excited to try it out.
No. I mean, it looks awesome, and I can't wait to try it out.
Awesome. So, there's our unboxing. Craig, you know what it's almost time for?
What is it almost time? Ooh, it's almost time, the end of the year.
It is. We got to talk to Granger. We got to get Hollywood back on the show.
That's right.
We got some predictions we made last year.
We
got to hold ourselves to account for that.
That's right.
I got to fudge some predictions about nuclear power, so we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
And then, so stay tuned for that. So I think December, look for pips around the results of last year's predictions, and we got to make some.
And then we got to make some, See what the future holds.
All right, everyone. We'll have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Or, Thursday.
Achievement unlocked. You've made it to the end of another D6 Generation episode. The podcast whose humor has universally been acclaimed as not too horrible. Please let us know what you thought of the show by emailing us at info@the d6generation.com. If for some inexplicable reason you actually enjoyed this show, you can help others find out about it by leaving positive reviews on iTunes. Thanks for listening and happy gaming.